When most artists go to prison, the spotlight dies, the world moves on, their music fades into old playlists, and their name becomes a cautionary tale. But when Vybz Kartel was sentenced to life in 2014, something happened that no one saw coming. He got bigger. Not just famous, not just relevant, unstoppable. Before prison, Kartel wasn't just another dancehall artist, he was the genre. Gaza wasn't a crew, it was a movement, a street religion, a cultural force that extended far beyond music. And at the center of it all stood Adidja Palmer, the man behind the mic, a lyrical genius who stirred controversy as easily as he stirred up a crowd. From sparking the bleaching cream debate to pushing lyrical boundaries no other artist dared, Kartel made headlines as easily as he made hits, and the hits kept coming. Clark's, Romping Shop, Summertime, Dancehall, Hero. Kartel was a machine, dropping hundreds of tracks per year with laser focus. His dominance was so complete it felt like he had hacked the algorithm of Jamaican culture. Love him or hate him, you couldn't ignore him. But then, in 2011 came the arrest, and by 2014 the life sentence. That should have been the end of the story, except it wasn't. Instead of fading away like most artists would, Kartel did something no one thought was possible. He kept releasing music, not just scraps or old demos, but full albums, high-quality singles, music videos, and collaborations. And the strange part? They were still good. Some were even better than his pre-prison work. Suddenly, the myth grew larger. How was he doing it? Was there a secret studio in the prison? Was it all unreleased content from before? Was he calling in vocals through contraband phones? No one really knew. And that only made the legend stronger. But behind the myth was method. Kartel had built more than a career. He'd built an infrastructure, an empire. Long before his arrest, he had laid the blueprint for Gaza as a brand, not just a name. He mentored young talent, produced and stockpiled music, and embedded himself so deeply into dancehall culture that even behind bars, his voice echoed louder than ever. The numbers didn't lie. While in prison, Kartel racked up hundreds of millions of streams, dominated local airwaves, and released charting albums like King of the Dancehall and Tutanisha. He became a streaming giant in Jamaica and beyond, without ever stepping into a recording booth again. His sons, Little Vybz and Little Adi, stepped into the spotlight too, carrying the Gaza torch and proving that this wasn't just about Kartel the man, it was about Kartel the movement. His influence turned generational. He wasn't just shaping music anymore, he was shaping minds, markets, even fashion. And all of this raised a bigger question. What happens when an artist becomes so powerful that not even prison can stop them? Because it wasn't just the music, the very sound of dancehall changed in his image. His auto-tuned melodies, provocative lyricism, and relentless output became the blueprint for a new generation. Artists like Skeng, Skillibeng, and even Shensia reflect the stylistic fingerprints of Kartel in their flows. Even rivals had to acknowledge Kartel had set the tone. Meanwhile, Gaza culture took on a life of its own. Graffiti in Portmore. Gaza Feel Life scrolled on school desks, debates on radio and social media over his innocence, calls for appeal. He had become more than a celebrity, he was a symbol of resistance, of creativity under pressure, of refusing to be erased. And then, in 2025, came the moment no one believed would come: freedom. After more than a decade behind bars, Kartel walked free. The news sent shockwaves across Jamaica and the diaspora. Within weeks, he was booked for a headline show at the Barclays Center in New York, a packed arena, flags waving, fans crying, lighters in the air. A generation raised on his voice, finally seeing the man behind it, live. It wasn't just a concert, it was a coronation. Kartel walked out, not as a fallen star making a comeback, but as a cultural titan. The show didn't mark his return. It confirmed what his fans already knew. He never left. In a world where most artists vanish under the weight of scandal or silence, Kartel proved that presence isn't always about being seen, it's about pressure, influence, strategy, consistency. He used his time in prison not as a pause, but as a pivot. Today, his legacy is undeniable. Vybz Kartel didn't just change dancehall, he rebuilt it in his image. And whether you're Team Gaza or not, one thing is clear: the genre can never go back to what it was before. The Gaza legacy continues, and this time it's moving forward, in person,